Let's talk wide receivers. The Baltimore Ravens made some good additions last year to their wide receiving corps, but it wasn't enough to get them over the hump. Will they go bargain shopping this year, or will they snag a big ticket item? We discuss next on the GM. Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the GM. It is your guy Boulanger up next on the GM. 2024 wide receiver options for the Baltimore Ravens. Do me a quick favor, hit like, subscribe, and the notification bell so that you get updates when we upload new content. Let's talk about it. So the Baltimore Ravens have certainly been trying to upgrade their wide receiver room for the last few seasons. They did a decent job last year, but it was not enough to get us over the hump. This 2024 free agent market for wide receivers is pretty deep. You have top level like Neiman Marcus, and you go all the way down to the Walmart off the shelf additions of wide receivers. It's just going to depend on what you want, but also more importantly, what the Baltimore Ravens are looking for. If we start at the very top, let's look at Mike Evans. Mike Evans is a 6'5" wide receiver, 200 plus pounds, big body wide receiver. He can make the catch in the slant. He can make the catch in the intermediate. He can make a catch along the boundary. He can win the 50-50 catch. He can be a red zone target, and he can make the downfield catch. There's not anything on the field that Mike Evans can't do from the wide receiver position. He's highly decorated. He's one of the only receivers who've gone for over 1,000 yards in all seasons that he's been in the league. The only knock against Mike Evans is that he's already 30 years old, and you have to wonder, do you want to invest big time money in Mike Evans at 30? It's probably going to take a 3-year deal somewhere between 60 and 70 million dollars to get Mike Evans into Baltimore. So the question is, does Baltimore want to put up that kind of capital to bring in a number one wide receiver? Let's go to the middle market. Let's go to Belks. Excuse me. And at Belks, what we're going to be shopping for are guys like Marquise Hollywood Brown, Michael Pittman, um, guys like that. Now, Michael Pittman is a big bodied receiver. He's 6'4", he's 200 plus pounds. Now, he's not as fast as those other two guys, and he probably is going to be the cheapest of the big body wide receivers. But Michael Pittman has definitely shown an ability to be a number one wide receiver. He's shown the ability to make the catch along the boundary, to be a red zone target, and he's really good in the short and intermediate routes. Michael Pittman, this past season, had 109 catches for over 1,100 yards. So he's definitely shown an ability to be a number one go to type of guy, especially with spotty quarterback play. Michael Pittman is probably going to be looking for a 4-year deal since it is his first time to really cash in, and it's probably going to cost somewhere between 72 and $80 million to get Michael Pittman. I'm not sure if the Baltimore Ravens want to put that kind of money into Michael Pittman, especially when there are some guys in the draft who have his same physical stature and may be a little bit faster. But if he is available and we could nab him, I think he would be worth a shot. Let's go to Marquise Brown. Now, Marquise Brown is a guy that we know very well. He is a 2019 first round draft pick for the Baltimore Ravens. And for whatever the reason, it just didn't work out. He requested a trade, and we sent him off to the Arizona Cardinals. And things didn't work out in Arizona as well, simply because he stayed hurt. Then Kyler Murray went down, and it just didn't go as well as I think he would have hoped. I think his past couple of seasons in Arizona decreased a little bit of his market value, so he could come at a lower price point. In order to get Marquise Brown, it's probably going to be something along the lines of a 3-year, $42 million deal, which is still a good price, but it's not as much as those other guys. Would the Baltimore Ravens really take a chance on Marquise Brown and bring him back and add some speed um, and some good route running to this team? I don't know. It's highly unlikely, but I believe if the price is right, the Baltimore Ravens certainly may give it a shot. Let's go down to the Walmart off-the-shelf type receiver who still have a lot of good value. Down here is Curtis Samuel. He's a 6 foot, 6'1" wide receiver. I know him very well. I watched him most of his career because he started out in Carolina. He has elite level speed. He still has a lot of that speed left, although he's had some injuries. He has an ability to play in the slot, play out wide, and do some things out of the backfield, which he's certainly done a time or two, both in Carolina and in Washington. He's probably going to be at a really good bargain based on what he can do. He's kind of a now don't cut the video off when I say this. He's kind of a Debo Samuel type. Now he's not Debo Samuel in any means. He's not as productive. He's not as stout. He's not as strong as Debo Samuel. He's not as dynamic. But what I mean by Debo Samuel type, you can do a whole lot of things with Debo Samuel. You can line him up in the backfield, in the slot, and out wide. And you can certainly do the same thing with Curtis Samuel. I think that you could get Curtis Samuel maybe on a 2 or 3 year deal. On a 2 year deal, you're probably looking at 2 years, somewhere between 17 and $20 million. On a 3 year deal, you could probably get him for about $18 million over the course of that 3 year span. I think that's a really good deal for a guy who can do what he can do. Again, he's not elite, but he definitely is a complimentary guy who can do a lot of things and a guy you have to account for when he's on the field. Another guy down here in the Walmart off the shelf range is going to be Josh Reynolds. I really like Josh Reynolds. I've seen him make some big plays over the last 2 to 3 seasons that he's been in the league. I like him because he has good size. He's 6'3", 200 plus pounds. He has good speed, and he can also make all the catches. Sometimes he doesn't get a chance to do so because he's behind, good talent. He was behind good talent. I think when he was in, let's see, I think he was with the Chargers. He was behind good talent, so it's hard to see what he can do. But when he's been given an opportunity, he has been able to shine. I think he would be a good pickup for the Baltimore Ravens. Again, if you don't want to spend the big money to get a big body wide receiver, Josh Reynolds is certainly an option for the Baltimore Ravens. A guy who can step into maybe a third role, right? He can probably step into that third wide receiver spot, push Nelson Aguilar to the fourth spot, which is probably where he's better suited, and he can get on the field and do some things for the Baltimore Ravens. Those are some options, man. I know that there are certainly more options out there, and we're probably going to see 3 or 4 guys who have pretty notable names be released due to cap issues on their team. You're probably going to see a guy like a Mike Williams from the Chargers released just due to his injury history. When he's available, he's right. He can do a lot of things, but he's often hurt, and so he could hit the market. You could see Valdez Scantling from the Kansas City Chiefs. You could see him released because of his cap number, and you may also see a guy like Tyler Lockett be released. Um, he's not old, but he's definitely getting older. And they drafted the Seahawks drafted Njigba last year, and so they could be looking to move on from um, Tyler Lockett. So you could see definitely some more talent hit the market. So let me know what you guys want me to know. Are there any wide receivers you would like to see the Baltimore Ravens pick up, whether it's at the top of the line, middle market, or at the Walmart off the shelf section? So I'm your guy Boulanger. I'm out.